Hello again, my fiber friends. I'm ReRe, and this is Exploration Crochet, brought to you by the Yarn Over Hook Network. Today, we're going to talk about something that's hiding in plain sight in every skein in your stash, something that almost never shows up on the label. It's the reason some yarns feel like magic in your hands while others split, fuzz, and fight you the whole way. We're talking about S versus Z twist. You know, the direction the yarn spirals, and how that can affect your crochet life, particularly if you're a right-handed crocheter. So, stay tuned and discover the background of S and Z twists, as well as how the difference affects your stitches, your fabric, and your sanity. So come on, baby, let's do the twist. So first things first, what is S and Z twist? In your mind's eye, picture a strand of yarn, or go grab one if you're not driving, and hold it straight up and down. If it's not roving or single ply, look closely at the little diagonal lines on the surface, where the plies spiral around each other. If those diagonals lean the same way as the middle stroke of an S, that's slanting to the left, like a backslash on the computer, that's called S twist. If they lean like the middle stroke of a Z, that's slanting to the right like the forward slash, that's Z twist. That's it. Spinners also talk about twist in terms of clock direction. Twist added clockwise is conventionally Z twist. Twist added counterclockwise is S twist. For plied yarns, the singles are usually twisted one way, then plied in the opposite direction. So you might have Z-spun singles plied S, or S-spun singles plied Z. What you see most prominently on your yarn, looking at the outside, is that final plying direction. And crochet styles, knitting styles, and weaving all interact with that spiral differently. So that begs the question, if both directions are possible, why does it feel like almost everything in the yarn store is S twist? Historically, spinners with spindles and early wheels could twist either way. There's nothing unnatural about S or Z. It's just which direction your hand prefers. But once spinning went industrial, people started caring a lot about standardization. Factories needed yarn that behaved predictably in weaving and machine knitting. Machines were set up to twist singles one way, often Z, and ply them the opposite way, often S. Over time, Z singles, S plied, became the default. And that was the default for a huge chunk of the textile industry. When the modern hand knitting and crocheting market grew out of that system, we basically inherited those defaults. So, most craft yarns on the shelf today are S twist in the final strand you see, especially multiply yarns. Z twist hand knitting yarns are the minority, and when they exist, brands tend to find some way to shout it out because it's unusual. An important point, none of this was designed for crocheters or with crocheters in mind. It was designed for mills, looms, and knitting machines. Crochet showed up later and had to make do with what the industry already had. Now let's talk about what really matters for us as crocheters. What happens when your hook meets that twist? When you crochet, you're always doing some combination of wrapping yarn around the hook, yarning over or under, and rotating the hook relative to the yarn. These motions either add twist to the yarn, tightening the spiral, or remove twist, loosening it, opening the plies. For a typical right-handed crocheter, working in the classic yarn over style, that V-shaped wrap most patterns assume, your movements tend to add clockwise twist and remove counterclockwise twist. Since most commercial yarn is S twist in the final ply, that means as you work, You're usually removing some bit of twist from that yarn. Over time, the plies can open up, the yarn can feel loftier and fuzzier, and you may actually see more splitting and less crisp stitch definition, especially in long rows or textured patterns. Now flip to Z-twist for that same right-handed crocheter. Those same motions now tend to add a bit of twist. The yarn stays tight and coherent, and sometimes even firms up a little as you go. The plies cling together, you get less splitting and sharper stitch definition, resulting in extra pop on ribbing, puffs, bobbles, and surface texture. That's the whole idea behind crochet optimized Z-twist yarns. They are intentionally designed so a right-handed yarn over crocheter is adding twist, not stripping it away. So, if you've ever thought, why does this yarn look tired and fuzzy halfway through the project? It might not be your tension. It might just be twist direction plus your hand motion. Now, if you're left-handed or if you crochet in a non-standard style, the story can flip. Many left-handed crocheters work as a mirror image of right-handers, so their hook path and yarn path are reversed. Motions that remove twist for a right hand may add twist for a left hand, and vice versa. In practice, this often means left-handed yarn over crocheters may find that S-twist yarn behaves like crochet optimized yarn, staying tight as they work. Z-twist, on the other hand, see what I did there, can slowly untwist and split, especially if it's softly plied. And if you crochet yarn under instead of yarn over, or you hold your hook in a way that rotates it more or less, your twist relationship can shift again. So the big takeaway is twist direction is only good or bad relative to how your hands move the yarn over your hook. This is why two people using the same yarn can say, "This is the best yarn I've ever used," or "It's splitty and I'll never buy it again." They're not wrong. They're just twisting in different directions. Now let's layer fiber into this because fiber and twist amount matter at least as much as twist direction. Wool, alpaca, and other crimpy fibers are naturally springy. They can handle more twists without feeling harsh. A higher twist wool in S or Z will be firmer, springier, more durable, with strong stitch definition. In crochet, if your hand is removing twist from a high twist wool, it will mellow it into a soft, slightly fuzzier fabric, great for cozy garments and shawls. If your hand is adding twist, you can get a firm fabric, ideal for socks, bags, amigurumi, and textured stitches you really want to stand out. Cotton, linen, hemp, these fibers are comparatively smooth and straight. They rely heavily on twist for cohesion and strength. More twist equals stronger but harder yarn. Less twist, softer, more prone to splitting and abrasion. So, a softly S-twisted cotton that you constantly untwist with your crochet style can actually become softer. Sometimes very splitty, and at other times you can literally watch the fibers floating in the air. A Z-twist cotton that your hand tightens as you work holds together beautifully and shows off crisp stitches. Acrylic and other synthetics are engineered fibers. Mills can design them to behave however they want. Many budget acrylics are soft, loosely S-twisted to feel nice in the ball. But that means a right-handed crocheter can easily untwist them into fuzz and splits. A firmer, possibly Z-twist acrylic can stay more coherent and pill resistant, especially in crochet where loops are bigger and more exposed. For viscose, silk, bamboo, sugarcane, these shiny smooth fibers show twist in the fabric sheen. Alternating S and Z in weaving can create subtle light effects. In crochet and knit, twist direction can change how the highlight runs along a column of stitches. But again, the main story is how much twist, how your hand adds or subtracts from it, and what the fiber needs for strength. So when should you consider hunting for Z-twist or crochet optimized yarn as a right-handed crocheter? When you're making something for strength, when you need something that is durable, when you want cleaner stitch definition, or just less fighting with splits. When could S-twist actually be your friend? If you're left-handed and working mirror image, or a right-handed crocheter making soft, drapey garments or shawls, or you like a slightly relaxed texture. Again, no friends or enemies, just matching the twist to the project and the hands. So, why haven't crochet influencers flooded the market with Z-twist yet? That's a really good question. And there are a few big reasons. Number one, which is probably the biggest, knitting is still the bigger market. Many mills and brands still think knitters first, knit plus crochet if possible. And the standard S-twist base works well for that. Secondly, mills are set up for the old defaults. Changing twist direction at scale isn't just flipping a switch. It means readjusting machinery, rewriting specs, retraining quality control. Thirdly, custom Z-twist is a risk. For a crochet influencer to launch a Z-twist line, they could face high minimum order quantities, higher sampling costs, and the risk that shops and customers see it as just weird. And lastly, education overhead. You can't just write Z-twists on the ball band and call it a day. You really have to explain what it is. Explain why crocheters should care. Reassure knitters they can still use it or just call it right out crochet specific. So, I don't think it's that influencers don't want to do Z-twist. I think it's that they're operating inside a machine that was built for something else. And the market is full of cautionary tales. Furls, for example, used to have Wims Merino, a Merino Z-twist line that was specifically marketed for crocheters. It's discontinued. Lion Brands used to carry a popular yarn called ZZ Twist, and if I remember correctly, Vanna's Choice had a Z-twist option. Both have been discontinued. Barocco's Soft Whisk line, discontinued. But it's not all bad news. As crocheters ask better questions and support the lines that do exist, the market is slowly shifting. DMC has Pirouette. Blue Sky Alpacas has their organic cotton skinny, which they market as a round twist with multiple plies. It looks like Z-twist to me. Bella Coco through Hobie has her new merino yarn that is specifically designed as a Z-twist yarn for crocheters. Lion Brand 24/7 mercerized cotton is not a Z-twist. I've seen it labeled as Z-plied or cabled, but for me, it's an S-twist that acts like a Z-twist, and is perfect when I want something sturdy with exquisite stitch definition. Not to mention, there are some great alternatives to twisted yarns altogether. There are chainette yarns. Think a tube of chains like an I-cord. LB Collection chainette is the first one that pops to mind. There are blown yarns. Think thin mesh tube filled with fiber. Barocco and Sirdar have some nice options. Then there are tube or beginner yarns. Think Wooble's Easy Peasy and Michael's Loops and Threads Cuddlecraft. And t-shirt yarns. Lion Brands, Barnett, Big Twist, they all have variations. So there you have it. And I want to leave you with this. If you've ever blamed yourself for bad tension or ugly stitches when everything on the label and the instruction book and the video said you did it right, it might not be you. It might be physics. S and Z twists are one of those invisible systems that shapes our craft without ever being mentioned in most patterns and on most forums. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And at least you get another little layer of control, another dial you can turn to make your crochet feel better in your hands and look more like you imagined in your head. So next time you pick up a skein, take a second to check the spiral. Then ask, are you going my way or are you going to make me go yours? Do you have a favorite yarn or twist? Do you know of a Z twist that I didn't mention? If so, hop over to yarnoverhook.com and share it. Trust me, the community will thank you for it. Until next time, this has been Exploration Crochet. May the twists always be in your favor, and thank you for listening.